Good evening, friends, and welcome to the Electrodoctor is speculating about things. Number 2, in the order here. Cheers. I'm having a dub here, a dub from Germany. Yes, cheers. What we're watching is the to-be perhaps interface of the thing that it's all about, you know, the vehicle utility bus with all its services and things on it. It is a bit complex topic to comprehend, perhaps, or may not be able to explain it satisfactorily. But never mind. The biggest challenge, as I have seen it, is this bit, you know, the human. The interface between human and machine. I had a lot of anxiety anxiety or worry about how I was supposed to do the actual interface control panel, you know, for this. And you know, it was daunting to do it in a sort of a handyman fashion, in wood or metal or something. And the problem with that is also, of course, that one would have to decide, yes, I would like a slider here, I would like a readout of voltage here, I would like a button for this here, I would like this, and then it can never change. So since I'm not able to do that anyway, and it was hindering me from progressing here, I tried to learn or cobble together, you know, how the hell do you do so-called modern web development, you know, where the client application, as we see here, is running in the browser and is talking to stuff on the back end for actually doing stuff, which is what I want. And I've never been able to quite comprehend how you're supposed to do that in modern terms and such. You know, when I did back in my day, you know, we did it with HTML refresh tag to update something. That's how you did it. And you could have a frame maybe that you updated, for example, or something. That's about when I last tried my hand at something like this. So that's about 20 years ago. Yes, but here we go. This is apparently working. You see, this is what we're seeing here is then the embryo, perhaps, yes, of what could be the control interface. You see, this would then be presented on I'm doing wrong things here. Yes. No, I want it doesn't really matter, you know. Yes. This in the vehicle. This would be like on an iPad, for example. Mounted somewhat reasonably in the where the stereo would sit. That, or maybe if one could find a good head unit that has a good display and such. But I think that the iPad is a better device, really. But it's an old iPad. It's an iPad 2. That's 8 years or something like by now, so it's quite slow. But I think it should be able to manage to cope with this, shouldn't it? Yes. Anywho, getting this done. What we have here is not much. I can say that this thing, the number here, is being fetched from a backend. Yes, it is a PHP script actually that randomizes a value between 0 and 100 and appends it to 12 and returns an entire vehicle object in fact, which has all sort of things on it. I'm not getting quite the thing that I want to do here. No, I want. There we go. Thank you. And this, if we could, I'm not used to this thing here, but I think that we got something now that could work. Right. So to do this, there are apparently JavaScript libraries and frameworks and things, and it's such a jungle. And it's impenetrable from the start when you don't know what you have absolutely no idea what you're doing, and have never really liked or tried your hand at JavaScript. But this is what I settle on. Well, for the moment at least, something called Vue.js or something. It is some sort of thing. We can look at the package .json file here, which is handled by the npm package manager. This is all the dependencies for my little thing. Well, it wasn't that bad. Thought it was more. It takes a damn long time to install. Well, maybe it is the dev dependencies that takes time to install. Those are not here for some reason. They may not. Never mind. What we have here then is source. We can look in components. Yes, here we can see. No, what we start with is the app.view here. So I tried to do a thing. What should we call it? A layout here with a top bar where we would have. You could switch between views here, for example. Maybe you would like I don't know, for a stereo interface, music library. You would like weather forecast. I don't know. And down here would be constant important information, such as the current voltage of on the battery, or what is being output by the alternator. And also I have actually in the thing, I think it's actually easier to demonstrate this by just getting the thing that it gets. HPS. What? What is this? Right. Can we try it again, please? This is not yes, there we have it. It did not look nice. We could try something like that. No, the other way around is the way I want to do it. It's still not very nice, is it? Oh, they didn't do anything. Well, anyway, this returns this, and it does it. It doesn't put a new line on the end. We can see here, but what it does is that it changes the voltage, and also it has the ignition property. Yes. So the idea is that you'd be able to see if the ignition is on as well here, and the color. Why the reason why it is constantly changing here is I think it is working. I'm not sure if I'm presenting the most helpful of things, but I'm trying my best here. This is completely new form of format. Yes, it is. What we do then is, where was I? That's not new though. Losing the thread and so on here. That is completely. Now apparently you're showing that. That's not. How did this have that? There we go. Maybe yes. There we go. Thank you. So. We have varying voltage here and the ignition, and the idea then was to here the background color of this should change with the charge state of the battery, of course. So, going from green to greener, more green, between 12 and upwards, up to 14.4, and then going into red flashing all over the screen here if it goes over that, because then there is something seriously wrong with the alternator or something else is going on that you don't want happening. Anyway, and then also when it drops below 11, it should, and when it starts to approach, low 12s, it should go into some sort of amber yellowish thing, and then continue downwards to red as it approaches 11.5 or something, and then it goes completely red and starts flashing and things. Start the engine, man. You need to charge or provide power to the battery somehow. Yes, but to do this again, it is so complex. It's what it is. So this, I think I don't have NPM here, so I can't show that. I could get NPM, I suppose, but no. Enough is enough as it is. If we look at this, so this is the framework. No, it is not a framework, it's just a library. Actually, this, I think, called View. It has a somewhat difficult to comprehend syntax with it, but now when I understand it, it makes somewhat sense. And this is, I'm trying to use a bootstrap in conjunction here with View. In order to get, what should we call it, a mobile optimized thing. I mean, the iPad is one interface. That's the primary interface, the one you're using when you're driving. But then it should be extendable, of course, and available everywhere in your phone. And that's why I'm trying to do this as a web app. So it's cross-platform, because I'm not doing it for both Android and iOS, and I'm not learning C#, and I'm not Java. I could cobble. Never mind. Apparently, I'm learning this now. So this is fine. This is quite easy to understand. This is the layout of the application. We don't have syntax highlighting for some reason here. We're on Windows. My apologies. But we do have understanding of this stuff. Yes. I do have. Scheme. Yes. It's something it doesn't recognize the extension, most likely. Never mind that. But then you get into this bit. And well, now that it's done, I can understand it. We import a nav bar here. This is a component. Yes, this is a component, and the voltmeter is also a component. Those are the only current components that we have here. And now maybe this window may well be in the way. It doesn't need to be that big, really. It can be more like this. I think. So the voltmeter and the nav bar is on top. Is the one on top here, but these are just dummies. They don't do anything. A mute button for the stereo, for example, could live there. Yes. But here then, yes, those are these. So we tell it to this is the layout of it, yes. There, for example, is the nav bar, and here is the voltmeter. This has the wrong indentation, but I'm not going to change it on Windows. That's for sure. This is just this is a read-only thing here. But what we do have then is this. This is not a whole lot. That's all there is to this over thing. But then I tried to, think and organize how the hell do I want this to work. So I tried to make myself a little object here which would represent the vehicle. So I might make a class, yes, vehicle, constructor, make model. It has all these things. and here it gets, is where it currently gets its thing from. This is probably not the right way to do it, But this has driven me completely insane. The curly braces and the parentheses and the commas and the semicolons, and I still haven't really quite grasped when is what and when not. I suppose it is because we're neither in HTML nor JavaScript really. We're sort of in between something here, because we're within the view thing. It's special, I suppose. Or is JavaScript simply really this stupid? Maybe it is. It's completely random when you're supposed to put the semicolon or not. I don't know. I don't know. So that's that, and then I tried to build that with this, which loads the data from the backend. So I'm able to fetch things from a backend. That's great. I need to figure out how to post things to a backend and read status back and so on. But this is a good start. So if we then look in components here and have a look at the voltmeter component. Yes. This bit, for example, this to figure out to get this working with the thing that I wanted, and to get this structure, understand how to make this structure from the documentation available. That I've been working 3 days more or less on this. It's more or less 3 days it took me to get to this state. But now it is sort of refactored a bit, and I think it looks like something. But then we have things like this. This is web design stuff, styling. I have no idea what I'm doing at all. I'm not. But if it, as long as it ends up looking somewhat like I wanted to, then I suppose yes. So here we have it. What is all this stuff? Yes, this will be thrown away. This bit. This is just to get a random color for the background of the voltmeter as it is currently, to see if it was possible or how to change the background color of a thing, because that was not obvious at all. You might think that it is. It should be here. You see here. This is telling it to use a column from Bootstrap, which is integrated with Vue here in some way. Yes, trying to follow these projects through GitHub and everywhere and the playgrounds, and it's just such a jungle that if you're not in it, it's impenetrable, completely impenetrable. I'm not unfamiliar with finding answers to computer-related problems on the internet. That's basically what I've been doing for the last 30 years. Not 30, 25 years at least. But this was something else. I suppose it's the goddamn millennials that are behind this development. This what you might call it, this milieu, this environment. Anyway. Yes, style object. How do you get a style object into it? That should be simple, right? So you look that up on the Vue documentation, but then it turns out that it doesn't apply if you're using Bootstrap, because then it doesn't work for some reason. So then you have to do it differently. But that's fine, because you can do you can pass a style object here. But here again we get into this. Where the hell are you supposed to put the semicolon and not? Okay, this is pretty straightforward. And here, this is then a Vue component. It says in documentation here, this data thing, must always be a function. Yes. But then you find an example on their own damned site where it isn't a function, and you copy and paste that into your code, and it says data has to be a function. What the hell is wrong with you people? Why would you do that? And I was looking at the recent documentation, the same version as I'm using here and everything. As I am not wet behind the ears after all. So trying to figure out that, but now it is figured out. I know how to style, sort of conditionally style something here. The colors, the background color here, for example, I can have when the ignition is on, we could have a frame around it or something to indicate the ignition is on. For example, something like that. And then there's the stereo. That's something completely different. That's a very complicated beast. So, but this is a good start, I think, to get the vehicle thing, the voltage and ignition. Yes, that's a good start. And then if we could have some interactivity, maybe it could be great to have here something we could try to figure out. Could have yes, a temperature, definitely where a temperature gauge is coming, indoors and outdoors. Yes, and perhaps one could be fetching, the weather forecast and putting in a little weather forecasting here for where you are or where you're going. It doesn't. Well, it could no, but then it gets really complex if you want that sort of stuff. That's not what we're about. No. And hopefully then, of course, this will somewhat translate to whatever device you're on, somewhat. I mean, it won't be perfect everywhere. But hopefully it will be able, I'll be able to get it to work on, like a smartphone and such. So there you have it. That's the current state of it. There's a lot of work to do on this, but given where I started and where I am now, I think this is interesting too. Interesting? No, it's not interesting. It's interesting is not the correct term. But this is I'm trying to probably in the wrong way here. Yes, customize styles and things. Let's not look at that. No. But this, yes, the objects I have, the vehicle, and I had this working so many times, and then I wanted to refactor it because the idea is behind all this, of course, is to have it is supposed to be reactive. This thing to when the data changes, the thing changes here, and you don't have to fiddle with the DOM. The document object model, is it? Which websites are built on? Yes, you can just sort of tell it the value is this now, and it will do it, and it does it obviously. So with that, yes, I think I made my point. This is it. It's not complete, and there will be a hell of a lot of work to do. I will be a web developer by the end of this. Almost. Well, that will be it, dear friends. Thank you so very much for watching. Good night.